I've only ever met one guy that likes Godzilla as much as I do. I'm glad I did. Yeah, yeah. It's like finding a treasure at the end of the rainbow when you meet another Godzilla fan in real life. What's embarrassing is when you think you meet a fan, but he's not. That happened to me recently when I took my son to a birthday party. I was talking to another father who was talking about his Godzilla figure. He was like, yeah, man, I bought this $200 King Ghidorah figure and this, and I'm like, yeah, man, it's dope. I said, I'm a huge Godzilla fan, and he was like, yeah, I bought it for my son, and I'm like, fuck me. I'm like, fuck me. So, yeah, he's talking about his son, and I'm talking about myself. Fantastic. So yeah, it's just how it goes sometimes, man. They're not all over the place. They are not all over the place.
You're watching E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
And there you have it. Whoa. Let's see how this goes tonight. Let's see how this goes. First thing I'm going to do is give you guys the link to the Twitch stream in case shit goes sideways. All right, that's the first order of business. If shit goes sideways, and I want to make this very clear right now, we're not showing pictures. We're not showing pictures. I was already told by Warner Brothers that that's usually the deal killer, is if you show footage or pictures. Even then, I'm still a little bit on edge about what we're going to be discussing here tonight. So, we'll get into that in a second. Here's the link to the Twitch stream in case shit goes down. We'll be alive over there. What's up, Twitch? All right. So, this is not surprising to me. If you guys listened to my podcast back in early December, I had a podcast discussing, basically it was a podcast putting all the leaks together that have been out there. And I said in the podcast, the one thing that concerned me was the common theme in every leak that I had read, even the ones that are completely like bullshit. But the one common theme was Mechagodzilla. Now, that's easy to fabricate in any story because he's very popular. People have been clamoring for Mechagodzilla since shortly after 2014. After Mothra, Ghidorah, and Rodan got announced, a lot of people were clamoring for that. From a fan perspective, I'm very excited, because Mechagodzilla is one of my favorite villain kaijus, probably more so than Ghidorah. On the other hand, I'm also very disappointed, and I'm disappointed for two reasons. Number one, this is the end. This is the end. They're not... I said if they're going to do Mechagodzilla, they're better off keeping it for their last movie. I think that's why we're getting him. I don't see... I'm still in the way of... This is not going to register with the general audience. And because of that, I don't see how... Now, that doesn't mean the movie's not going to make money. It's the repercussions after the movie. So, for example, I still think Godzilla vs. Kong is going to make a lot of money. And because of that, they may try one more movie. It's that movie that I think might suffer. Because once you bring Mechagodzilla into the fold, now you're going so far off the rails from where you started with this monsterverse that it's not going to register with fans. I know some of you guys are excited. I know that some people are not excited about it. I know we've had this debate for 2 years on this channel. So fans clamored enough. You got what you wanted. If you're a fan, if you support this, and this is what you've been clamoring for, you got what you wanted. I don't want to hear shit when the movie comes out. I'm going to say that right now. I don't want to hear any complaining. I don't want to hear any bitching and moaning. You clamored for this hard body. Now you're getting it. Swallow it. Okay? Be happy. Take it and run with it. Because your clamoring might have just ended the monsterverse. Because I don't see how I'm telling you right now, this is not going to register with fans, with general audiences, I mean. So that's all I'm saying. There's going to be fans out there very excited. I saw people in chat. I called it. Look, I'm not trying to burst your bubble. Everyone and their mother called it. This is not anything that we couldn't foresee coming. In fact, as time progressed more and more, it was getting easier to predict. And the reason for that is because if you went through all the leaks, even if the leaks were somewhat not real or somewhat fake or whatever the case may be, or even if they were partially fabricated based on facts, Mechagodzilla was the #1 common theme in every leak that I read. And I can tell you right now, a good 85% of those leaks were bullshit. But the fact that there's so much Mechagodzilla in there, I'm like, boy, people really want this. And based on the last movie, I'm starting to think we might get this. They're gonna do this for the fans again, and that's what's happening. So you guys got what you wanted. I don't want to hear any complaints. I don't want to hear any crying come November. Nothing. You wanted this. You got it. It's on you. If the monsterverse ends out, and I'm telling you right now, there's a good chance it will. And even if it does one more movie, it is, and I have a feeling this was possibly planned. And thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. I have a feeling this was possibly planned a little bit in between Kong Skull Island and King of the Monsters, because King of the Monsters took a real big shift into Showville. And that movie was very fan serviced. It was very much for the fans. And it looks like they're going to continue that trend. And as a fan, I have no problem with that. As a fan, I'm looking forward to seeing Mechagodzilla. But I know that if the idea of this gets ridiculed by critics, if it gets ridiculed by fans, I'm not gonna be held responsible, because even though I'm a big fan of Mechagodzilla and I would love to see him in the MonsterVerse, and now I am, I never wanted him in the MonsterVerse simply because I know that it alienates the general audience, which is the audience you need to make the money. This movie will make money. They might announce another movie, and it's that movie that I think is going to suffer. And if they don't announce another movie, then as I said, they probably thought the same thing and said, well, this is going to be our last one. Let's go out with a bang. Let's bring in Mechagodzilla. Let's bring in other monsters and go with it. So, let's see what happens.